everyone, it's Kay from the Paper Shed. Hope you're all doing well today. I'm really excited to be bringing you this little information video for Junk Journal Fix with Sunflower Indoors, the new group, which is fabulous. I'm so happy to be taking part, and I'm enjoying the process. So this is great. So the event, which is Blind Date with a Book, a novel swap, which I think is an absolute fabulous name. I'd never heard of Blind Date with a Book before until Rose messaged me and asked me. Rose is the coordinator for all of this event. I'm just doing a quick sort of information video to show you how to wrap your book. And the reason I decided to do it is because I'd never actually heard of Blind Date with a Book before, and I was sort of having a look at the pictures and different ways of wrapping the books. I had a go. I'd just finished a book I read here, so this isn't anything to do with junk journaling. This is just a novel, and I thought, oh, I'll just give it a go. And I gave it a go, and my lines and my crosses were all over the place, even though I'd followed a video. So I worked it all out and I got them to be in the right place. Now, I do have OCD about these things, and I like them to be level. Now, if you're not bothered, your pockets can be anywhere you want them to be. You don't have to follow this video. You don't have to package your book the same way in any way, shape or form. So this is just an information video if you want your pockets to be like this. There is other ways to do it, and if you prefer another way, then that is perfectly fine too. So please just go ahead and do your thing. This is just to help people who are new. Because we're a new group, we have a lot of new members who are new to junk journaling. So I thought this would be quite an informative video to help along. So the event itself is based on Blind Date with a Book. The specifications, if that's the right word, for the book and for you to be able to take part is it can be an old or a new book. It doesn't have to be new. You can get it from a charity shop. It can come from out of your own stash. You know, we don't want you to go out and buy things for this event. We want you to be able to utilise anything that you have already in your craft room. That's the whole purpose of it all. You know, the recipient might just want to read it and just enjoy the process and the experience. That's fine. But the book itself should also be able to be upcycled in some way as a junk journal cover, an altered book, or pages that can be used for ephemera. So do bear that in mind when you're picking the book that you're going to do your swap with, because it's important to the recipient, or it will be important to the recipient. Okay, so the next process once you've picked your book is to wrap your book. And as I've just said, please don't feel you need to wrap it in this way. This is just the most useful way. It gives you 4 pockets. You can put your pockets on if you want to. You can wrap it differently so that your pockets are layered this way. You can wrap it in any way you want to, as long as you've got space for pockets that you can fill with the items from your craft stash. Your craft stash. Okay, so the next thing, all of this information will be given in the events page when Rose posts it on the group. It will all be there, so you'll be able to read all of this yourself. I just want to give you a few pointers within the video so that you understand what the process is. The last thing will be including in your package, so in your pockets, is some handmade ephemera of some items that can be used to make ephemera. So you might even want to add some small items of stationery like a bookmark, etc., etc. The aim is for around 5 pieces that someone can use, and I'll go over that a little bit more in a bit once we've wrapped the book. So that might be helpful to you to understand. So it's 5 items. You get your book, you wrap it, you put 5 items in. That's all it is. Okay. Now you can add more if you want to, but we're aiming for around 5 just to make it fair amongst the recipients and the people taking part. First off, what I want to do is just explain to you. I've put a few freebies. I've made some freebies for the group just to give you a helping hand. You don't have to use these. Please don't feel like you have to. It is just something to help any newbies out there with a bit of ephemera and some cards to actually attach and add into their books. So I made some reading list cards. So that's the reading list. I made some library cards. These are the library cards. I'll put them that way so that you can see. They're just the same. These 3 are the same, just different colours. And this one is a different type. It's slightly smaller. This is a little bit of ephemera that you can use to decorate the front of your cover, which I thought was quite nice. And then there is 4 bookmarks. Last but not least is Mandy's contributed a fabulous little pen and pencil holder. She's made this for this event, Blind Date with a Book, a novel swap. I just love it. She's given you some information there of how to fold it and put it together, and I just couldn't wait, so I had to give it a go. And this is what I got. Now, I sewed around mine. These can actually be stuck down onto your journal or wherever you want to actually put it. And or because I've actually sewn it, I could have actually sewn in some elastic there, which would have actually then been used around the front of the cover. But it all works fabulously, as you would expect. And there you have it. So that's from our lovely Mandy, who made 2. So there's one without the words on so that you can reuse it, and there's one that is for the actual event. So I hope you'll find that useful. Just to give you some idea, so I haven't made these in card. You need to make them in a thicker card than what I have. But it's just so that they can be popped in anywhere in your pockets. So I've made the 3 bookmarks there and just stuck a tassel in. You can decorate these up or use them for parts of ephemera. And then your library card, which will go in the top or wherever you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, if you do want to use it, that's fine. So I just thought I'd show you those. They will be in the group files, and they will probably be added to the events page, hopefully. Now you can wrap your book in anything. Most people that I've watched and seen tend to do it in brown paper, basically, just brown. This was a new roll, that's why there's a bit of sellotape there. Just brown paper. So I decided that I thought, well, I'd like mine to be a little bit more decorative than that, but it doesn't have to be. You can do it in craft paper, you can do it in packaging, you can do it in anything you want. You can use pattern paper if you want, you can use wrapping paper. You know, if you've got a theme going on and you want to use a pattern paper to do it, feel free to do that. I just thought that I wanted to do this. What it was is I got this wet when I was doing this, okay? So I scrumpled it up and shoved it on my desk. And then obviously when I opened it, I thought, oh, that's the way they make that leather look. So I did a leather look, and it needs a bit more inking, but I don't really want to over ink because it does come off on your hands sometimes. It's dry, so it is actually completely dry now. When I was messing with it, it actually wasn't. And you can use this, you know, you can use whatever you want. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to use this to cover it. And the reason why is because I want you to be able to see where these lines are coming. So hopefully, if I use the plain, it will be better. Okay, so I've picked my book and I've got my paper. What we're going to do now is we're just going to wrap with the normal wrapping that creates the 4 pockets. So the same as what I showed you earlier with this mechanism. I don't really have many books here for junk journaling, purely because of the weight. I can't bring them out. Well, I can bring some over every now and again. I've got an Edith Holden book which I was going to wrap, but my paper wasn't wide enough for it to meet. Now, when you watch the wrappings on YouTube or what's the place called, Pinterest, or the shorts where they show you how to wrap these, they don't really explain the size of your paper. So you need to make sure that the width of your paper will overlap this way, because you're measuring from this way. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in here, and then what I want to do is I want to bring it down so that it is 3/4 of the way covers your book. Okay, and then what you need to do is make sure that that is fairly straight inside there, and then we just need to cut now enough just to cover this edge here. So I'll just get my craft knife and I'm just going to give it, I'll do it as straight as I can. I can't cut straight with scissors or a knife, so I do beg your pardon if it's wrong. It isn't really going to make much difference. Right, so we don't need any more of that. So put that away. Okay, so what I mean is, as well as it being like that, you need this to be able to cross over here. Okay, if it does that, it will fit, and you're at 2/3 of the way there. Okay, so we're going to start with making sure that we have enough paper to fill that. Okay, then we're going to take this and we're going to pull this right down. What we now want to do, I know that my paper is 15 inches wide. All right, my book, hang on a sec, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So I have 5.5. I have 9.5 to mess around with. So I need to make sure that I've, is it 4 3/4? I need to make sure that I've got 4 3/4 on either side. Now this part of, let me just put that knife away. This part is quite important because it's what aligns your crossover in the middle. So the closer that you get it in the middle, it's what it relates to. Okay, so if you get your book in the middle, your papers and your crossovers will be in the middle. That's the best way I can explain it. This is new to me as well, by the way. So I want 4 3/4 this way, and I'm hoping I've got 4 3/4 that way. Don't move the book. And yeah, so it's thereabouts. Okay, so I'm going to move that up now. You're just going to make sure that you've got enough to cover that bit there. You're going to grab this in the middle, this piece, and you're just going to pull that down, and then just sort of burnish that top lip there, because that's where you want it to be. Okay, then holding that down and holding the book from underneath up as tight as possible, obviously not too tight. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be careful with this piece because it's a hardback book and I will pierce those edges. So I just want to get my corners in place. What I want to do, I'll just show you, is I want this to be fairly straight across there without pushing my book out of place. So I want that to be fairly straight, and I'm just going to lightly crease because this is the one that you'll probably have to mess with. Okay, then this piece, I'm going to hold it here on the edge of the book, and then I'm going to fold it from the corner and squeeze it down there. Okay, and then that's like that. So you've got one piece here, you've got one piece here. Hold that down, do exactly the same on this side. So you're coming down, you want this to be as straight as possible and lightly crease it. Then you want to hold this piece here and just cross that over. Okay, and then your first cross has been made and it should be more or less in the middle of your book. Now that doesn't matter, you know, if you've not got OCD about it, don't worry about where they're landing up. But this is the sort of thing that you want here so that it's level. So if these two pieces are more or less level, you've got it in the right place. Then what you want to do is you just want to bring this over lightly and pull it tight. Now I can see if I pull it really tight and slightly out, I just need to push that way. And I'm still slightly out, so I've got more of a gap here than I have here. Does that make sense? I don't know whether you can see, and I don't know how to show you. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ink it, and I'm going to ink that. I'm going to ink that, and I'll ink the other one in a second, just so that it stands out a little bit. That's the best way that I can do it, okay? So that's that bit, that's that bit. They're fairly level, fairly tight, and I'm going to bring this one in. So you see when I bring it in tight, this here is slightly more. Now if that doesn't bother you, just go with the flow. It bothers me, so I have to make the adjustment in here. So I'm going to just make that adjustment in there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this paper. So I'm now going to just do my line again, and then I'm going to push that paper into here. Okay, so that my pocket hasn't got a crease in it. Okay, and I'll need to just ink that again now, just to show you that it is in line now. So I've got more of a line. Probably can't see that very well on camera. I'll bring it up closer. It's just that if I loose it, it loosens everything. So you're going to do the same on this side. You know, going to do the same on this side. Now I've got a bigger flap on this side. That bit doesn't bother me. That bit is straight. So this side is actually all right. So do you see what I mean? So I've got a bigger gap than this side, but I don't mind that. I just mind that it's level all the way down there. As I said, if it doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. On that one inside there, this one out, this one in, that one out. Okay, so I'm now having a crisscross. So this is what I mean. You see how this one is slightly narrower than this one? I'm not too bothered about that. All I wanted to make sure was that I got the same gap here or the same width here as I have down here. Okay, that's what's more important to me. If yours is crooked and you don't mind that, don't worry about it. What we're then going to do is where you have this crease here, so this point, just stick your finger on it and fold that back. Now I haven't got much on this side, but it's enough. And I'm just going to crease that in, and then I'm going to fold that back on itself to do that. Okay, because that's going to be where you are going to stick. All right. So what we're going to do is we are just going to put some tape. I'm using tape just because I don't want the sellotape to be on the outside, if that makes sense. I don't want to have sellotape on the outside of my pockets. So I'm just using double-sided tape to, so let's make sure we've got this as taut as we can. Crease it all up if you want to. Fold that down and then bring that over to meet there. Okay, and you have your pockets. Then we're just going to do this in the normal packaging way. We're just going to hold that in, fold that corner in, push that one in, push that one in. Then we're going to just, I'm going to put two on this one. So I'm going to put one there, low down. And then we're going to put one on the top because it's slightly narrower. Okay, you can burnish these in if you want to. I'm not that bothered because I'm going to have to open it. So, yeah. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to hold that in place and bring that up. And you've got your package with your pockets. What's good about it, the reason you don't do any of the other with sticking it down is because you want the pockets to be open and you want them to have a little bit of room to get in there and a little bit of room to get in there and there and there. Okay, so that's the reason why you don't do it that way. So there you have your wrapped book ready to rock, and I can't wait to see what everybody does because it's going to be so much fun. With the freebies that we did, I've just made some library cards, a bookmark and a reading list. And you can use them, you don't have to use them. Another idea that I thought about was that for ephemera, loose ephemera and stuff like that, you could stick an envelope in there with packed with little goodies and stickers and all of those things. If you wanted to, you could put a little envelope, make a little envelope up and put it on there. So there's lots of things that you can do. Just be creative. You know, as I said, there was 5 items minimum to go in. So it's entirely up to you what you do. All we want you to do is to take part and have fun. So I hope that was useful to you. If you have any questions or you're worried about anything with the event, then just reach out either through the Facebook page, the events page or whatever to me, Rose or Mandy, and I'm sure one of us will get back to you as quickly as possible with any concerns. So please do have a great time creating and taking part, and I look forward to seeing all of your makes. See you in the next one. Bye for now.